So tell me what you guys think about this. So check this out. Picture this. I'm working as a waiter at a restaurant. I cannot give away the restaurant's name, but let's just say there's a lot of barrels there. At this point, and this is not a race thing. It's not about race, but I will mention my guests. They were of the Native American race, and I went up to them, and I don't remember because this was like probably like 4 years ago or so. I was serving them, and I went up to the table, and I go up. They had a little kid with them, and then I asked, "Oh, okay, what would you like? What would you like for her?" And the parents lost their shit.
I did the same thing.
I think I've heard of a lot of people that have done something similar to that. The boy, I mean, it's a young boy, so at this point, his face was really round and had really long hair, which is part of their culture,
Yeah.
And that was a mistake on me. I should not have assumed that kid's gender, like I should have been like, oh, well, like now I know, now I learned that mistake, and now from that point on, I'm like, what would you like for the little one? Or like, hey, buddy, or hey, pal, what would you like? But yeah, like, okay, what would you like for her? And then this guy, the dad, I assume it was the dad, not only did he, get offended, but he also made the kid feel bad. Like, oh, did you see that? Like, he taps the kid, like, hey, he thinks you're a girl. And I was like,
Dad of the Year.
Dad of the Year award goes to that man. My point is, I mean, mistakes are made, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just my perspective. I can't really go into it because, I mean, when I was younger, sometimes I would, answer the phone and people would think I was a girl, because you have a high pitched voice, At that point, I'd be like, hey, what the heck? I'm a boy,
Life was hard as a, what is it, prepubescent?
Prepubescent with
is that the
high
right
pitched
word?
voice, yeah.
Prepubescent boy?
Mm.
Yeah, fuck.
So
Thanks, society, for making us feel bad about ourselves. No, I totally get that though. I've totally done that, and it wasn't the parents that lost their shit. It was actually the kid, and I guess she didn't really lose her shit. It was a little girl, but she had a short haircut,
Oh.
And I look back on it now, and I'm like, dang, I don't know why, because I normally do say, and for the little one, because sometimes you just don't know. But anyway, when you are obviously like, let's say a 200-pound, 6-foot-tall man with a beard, and someone calls you sir, and that's not how you identify, then why are you gonna get all bent out of shape for it? Like, it's an honest mistake. When did that happen? Like, when did society start being offended by that? Like, when guys? The fuck?
I agree with you. Like, okay, so there's two ways to approach that situation. So let's say like, oh, I actually assume I identify as a female. Like, I don't know why I did the deep voice, but just to,
because it happens.
Yeah, it happens, and all right, that's cool. Like, you're not hurting anyone. If you want to identify as a female, when you're a male, that's fine. Like, that's who you are. But you can't hold it against somebody like, hey, hello, sir, how you doing? Oh, I'm actually a female. Like, I'm very offended. At that point, like, you could correct the person, like, hey, actually, I identify as a female. If you could, address me as such. Oh, my apologies. I apologize for that. And then you correct yourself.
Right. It's perfectly fine if you identify as whatever you want. Just, you don't need to be offended,
And that leads me to, I saw this video on YouTube, and this guy became a meme. He's that guy that says, like, such and such, change my mind. Like, abortion is bad, change my mind. Like, really controversial stuff.
Oh, yeah. The guy sitting at the booth.
At the booth?
Yeah.
He normally goes to colleges.
I like those memes.
I forgot what his name is, but yeah. His videos are very interesting because he actually went to a college and he was speaking about that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's hell-bent, like, hey, if you were born with female genitalia, then you're a female, so I'm going to call you a she, a her. I'm going to address you as such. If you were born with male genitalia, same thing applies. You're a him, you're a man. Even if you get, like surgery or whatever, you're still a man. Like that. Yeah. That was his point of view, and he wanted people to change his point of view. So there was this girl who was really passionate. She even started crying and everything, but she was like, just like they had complete opposite views. Like there was no common ground. He was trying to build common ground with her, but she was like not having it. So she's like, no, when you're like and like she was very agitated. Like when you like she was, I guess. And see, I'm kind of afraid to say this, but she was a lesbian based on what the how she portrayed herself, and she wanted to be addressed as a I forgot what she wanted to be addressed as, but she's like, what would you address me as? And he's like, okay, you're a woman, you're a she. Okay, but I haven't told you what I want you to address me as, so you can't address me as a she. That's considered like assault. She was considering it like assault. Like, I feel like you're assaulting me by doing that. And then he kept making great points, and she made her points, like also like they were valid on her beliefs. But like once you get into that, like if somebody addresses you as like something that you don't identify as, and you say that that's assault, I feel like that's diminishing actual assault.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it takes away from the like the meaning of what assault actually is. It's like, that's assault?
Like, dang.
Like, I don't know.
So all I can say is and that this is without trying to offend people, like people are very passionate about their beliefs. Sometimes too passionate where sometimes you close yourself to the other points of views, and I think I like cheese. That's what I think. And you know what I think also? I think we're coming to the end of this segment. We are going to have a word from our sponsors. Also because the video only records 20 minutes at a time.
Fair.
But we're going to go to our sponsors, a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with some more very interesting stuff to talk about.
Finger guns on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're currently tuned in to the Magnified Reality Podcast.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button to unlock ultimate happiness and enlightenment.
Yeah!
Yeah!
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't go anywhere. We just hit the stop button on the video and restarted.
We took a brief intermission and we talked. I forgot what we talked about already.
Very, very heavy stuff.
Very heavy stuff.
Not heavy people, but heavy subjects about people.
Yes.
What's your take on that? We were just discussing the people who get offended by using the wrong terminology and who refer to it as assault. What do you think?
And I don't want to offend anybody by saying this. This is just my opinion. But I feel like we have been enabled as like a society to think it's okay to be offended by such petty things, like you see these memes all the time, just back in like, let's say the early 1900s. At 18, you're being shipped off to war. You know what you're doing at 18 nowadays? You're crying because someone offended you. It's a huge change, and I think it's wrong, You shouldn't be offended because someone made a mistake. I know you mentioned the lady at the college campus who felt assaulted because she didn't address how she wanted to be addressed. I think that's completely ridiculous, and I think like it's become a societal norm that we address people out of respect as sir or ma'am, not hey you. And that kind of respect should already be recognized as, oh, he's not trying to offend me or assault me. They were kind enough to say hello ma'am or hello sir. Even if I don't identify as a ma'am or sir, I should respect that they have acknowledged me in a respectful manner. Leads me to another story. I used to be a server, still am a server. Sucks sometimes. No restaurants will be named. At my previous job, I worked with an individual who very much so identified as a woman, still biologically a male. And I believe no matter what kind of sex change surgery you go through, you will always biologically be the gender you were born as. Anyway, this server, I had just started there, and server did me a favor, so I say, "Oh, thank you, good sir," and quickly corrected, "It's ma'am," and I was just like, "Fuck," I felt so bad because I really thought she was a male. I come to find the next day, I go into the bathroom to change before my shift, and who was standing at the urinal taking a piss like a big boy is the ma'am that I had offended the night before. So I was, it's just you assume things because they're just obvious, and you shouldn't be blamed for that kind of stuff. What else offends people? Words.
Well,
words.
we probably offended half of our audience.
We probably did.
No, guys. This is just an open discussion. Everybody's allowed to have their views. By all means, we don't want to push our views onto you guys. We just want to start a conversation. These are our views, and if you have complete opposite views, those are valid, and they're just as valid as our views too. So feel free to share for sure.
Almost definitely.
Yeah, in a respectful way. We joke around. We're like, hey, we're gonna offend you and this and that. That's just the tone of this podcast. It's supposed to be goofy.
Yeah. We're just having fun here. We don't hate any of you. Like, we respect people as humans, and yeah.
We all got different views. So those were our views. But you know what really grinds my gears? Grinding my gears while I'm driving. Oh no! Shit! Clutch.